friends, thanks for joining me today. Let's talk about parenting with chronic pain. It's important to talk about the decision that has to be made to actually have kids. While that is a huge decision for anyone's life, it's an even bigger decision if you have chronic pain, because there are more unknowns than just the regular unknowns that every parent deals with when bringing children to this world. A couple years after I married my husband, we had decided that we were going to move forward and try and have a baby. And around this time, I had an appointment with my neurologist, who I love and adore. And I went into this appointment. We were still trying to get my pain more controlled, but I mentioned to her that my husband and I were going to start trying to have a baby. And the look of shock and fear just like stopped her in her tracks. She just stopped. And she said, I would strongly discourage you from doing that right now. I would not try to have children at this point. I would really recommend that you push forward in figuring out pain management, and that we try, several more medications. You've got several more hoops to jump as far as trying different medications and different treatments. And I really don't think it's wise to add a kid to this mix as well, because migraines especially, it's a big question mark, because some women have fewer migraines while they're pregnant, others have more migraines while they're pregnant, and then after pregnancy your hormones are just a mess, and there's really no guarantee. So all of that to say, I highly discourage you from trying to get pregnant right now. And my husband and I felt really strongly like this was our time and it was the right time. And so I kind of nodded my head and said, okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that advice, and went home and told my husband, and we both looked at each other and said, it's still right. It's still right to move forward. And we still feel like it's the right decision for me and my health and for our family. And so a couple months later, I was pregnant with our firstborn daughter, who is now almost 4. And miracle of all miracles happened, that I had way fewer migraines than I was used to while I was pregnant with her. It was different, by the way, for my secondborn, my son, who's almost 15 months. It was the opposite. I had more migraines with him. But for her, I had fewer migraines. And after I had her, I started migraine Botox, which is life-changing. I'm going to do a video about that in the upcoming months, but it was life-changing for me. It still is. I still get Botox to this day. Again, almost 4 years later, I'm still doing Botox, because I would not be able to have kids and raise kids and be with them and function at all without my Botox. So fast forward, I've got an almost 4-year-old, a 15-month-old, and I'm going through parenting these kids, keeping them alive, and it's hard. It's hard for every parent, and every kid is different, and every parent is different, but adding a chronic pain element to parenting is not for the faint of heart. It is hard, okay? A major thing that you hear about, for moms especially, is the term mom guilt, right? This feeling that there's always something more you could be doing for your child, and there's always something that you could be doing better, because your child deserves the best parent. And obviously parents make mistakes, but this striving for perfection in parenting, and of course not reaching it, and then you feel mom guilt because you're not this perfect parent for your kid. Well, we all feel that way. But adding the pain element to that as well is something I like to call pain guilt. And pain guilt is when those expectations are not being met because you had a pain flare-up. So the mom guilt coupled with the pain guilt, it makes for a constant cycle of negative self-talk. And it's still something that unconsciously creeps into my thoughts all day long. If I'm not intentionally stopping those thoughts, they take me down. So in thinking about what has and what hasn't worked as I have navigated parenting and navigated dealing with my chronic pain, I've come up with a couple of tips that have really helped me. Now, I just want to preface this by saying some of them are practical tips, some of them are actual like things you do. Others, though, are mindset tips as well, but I feel like both types of tips are super important because this is a mental and emotional game we're playing, as well as obviously physically taking care of our kids and ourselves. Tip number 1 comes from my mother-in-law who doesn't have chronic pain, but it's just an all-around great tip for any mom, and that is sleep when you can sleep. I know that it's really tempting when your kids are gone, if they're being babysat, if they're at school, if they're taking a nap. It's really tempting to get all of the stuff done that you need to. If you have chronic pain, your body is in a state of constantly being behind, and you need that sleep. The housework can wait. In fact, it always waits for you. It never goes away, and you can always catch up on housework, but it is impossible to catch up when your body is in a constant state of fatigue because you are experiencing pain. Tip number 2 is something that I call a 2-song tidy. It's something that I do with my daughter daily, if not several times a day, and it's something my husband participates in. I find that the best way to get me motivated to clean is to turn on music, and kids are no different. So I have my daughter pick 2 songs that we're going to listen to and clean to, and we clean hard during those 2 songs. So today we listened to How Far I'll Go by Moana, and we listened to it on repeat. And I cleaned for 4 of those repeats, which added up to about 10 minutes. My daughter cleaned up for 2 of those repeats, which was at 5 minutes. And we got a lot done. It wasn't perfect, and if you have chronic pain, you know that nothing is really going to be done perfectly because you don't have the energy to do it. But usually I can give 10 minutes to tackle the worst part of my house. I for sure give emphasis to a couple of areas of my house. The main area, I want my kids to have at least enough room to play in comfortably. I also definitely want to keep smells away because those trigger migraines for me. And I want us to have clean clothes to wear. So as long as those 3 things are covered, I'm okay. In this phase of life that I'm in right now, I've got to take care of my pain, and I've got to take care of my kids' well-being, and that comes before a perfect house. But in the meantime, these 2-song tidies are a game changer. Now, I just want to add that my daughter has been doing this for years now, that we've been doing 2-song tidies, and she still complains about it. I'm showing you this video of us cleaning, and I turned the sound off so that you couldn't hear her whining because she fought me for, the full 5 minutes. She did not want to get her portion cleaned, but it got done, and I'm really proud of her. While I cleaned up the majority of it, she's still learning hard work. So I highly recommend the 2-song tidy, and obviously that can be adjusted for age and maturity, but even if you can just get 1 song out of a little kid and teach them to work hard and dance hard during 1 song, it really makes cleaning up not that bad. Tip number 3 is a mindset tip, and that is to surround yourself with people who see you for your potential and see you for your intentions and know that you are doing your best no matter what. I mentioned earlier that mom guilt mixed with pain guilt makes for a really guilty person, and it's so helpful to have friends and family members that you can confide in and be totally honest with and tell them that you're just really having a hard time. They see big picture, that you're a good mom, raising good people. That is really something that I have held on to. It's conversations like that that have made me rethink and made me really try to be kind to myself and to give myself grace. Finally, the last tip number 4, is to go buy activities, cheap, fun, unique activities or crafts or treats that you have on hand when a pain flare-up day comes and you need to lay down. It is totally acceptable to have a stash of dollar store activities put away and ready to pull out on those rainy days. So for example, this is in my stash right now. I didn't go out and buy these things, it's what I've already got. This cute little wooden giraffe, I've got several different types of paints. It's from Dollar Tree. My daughter will spend probably 20 minutes painting this giraffe. I have googly eyes that she can put on it, and she can actually play with it with her little Barbie dolls. I also have some princess nail stickers, a little felt flower kit that she can tape to the wall with paint safe tape. And then I have some Play-Doh, because Play-Doh is always so fun and really great. So any kind of crafts or activities that you have on hand, again, really cheap stuff. It could be a really fun coloring book that you save on those hard days. So it's something that they look forward to that's a little different than their normal scheduled activities. And it's something that will keep them busy for a while, and you can lay on a couch and ice or heat pack or whatever you need to do to make it through the rest of the day. I definitely recommend keeping some fun art supplies on hand as well. Crayola is great because none of it is toxic if you have small children, and a lot of it is mess-free as well as washable. My daughter also loves glitter glue. That's another really successful thing that I've saved in the past. Just to put glitter glue on paper with some fun stickers. She really enjoys that. So plan in advance for these rainy day flare-ups, and it will make a world of difference because it actually gives you a little break as a parent. Lastly, I just want to say you're awesome. You're awesome for being here. And if no one has told you today or lately, you're enough. You're enough to be a mom or a dad to the kids that you have. And you can do it. Your kids love you, and you have people who are interested in you succeeding. I always think that if my to-do list says I need to do the dishes, if I don't finish the dishes but I just unload the top rack, that'll get me going, and doing something is always better than doing nothing. Wherever you are in the world, just know you've got a cheerleader in me, and you can do this. I would love to hear your parenting tips, so please drop those in the comments. I hope that you're having a painless or pain-free day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!